What up? Facebook Live. So stoked. So excited to be on here with you guys tonight. Have some incredible content to cover with everybody. I would suggest sharing this, inviting your friends. There's going to be some incredible content delivered on here tonight from a good friend of mine, my mentor, my big brother, Rick Gutman. Well, while we're waiting for some people to hop on and waiting for him to jump in, I want to share a little bit about him. He's a guy that I met a little over 2 years ago, which is crazy to think. You know, I moved to California. What's up, guys? Maurice, what's up, man? I moved to California like 2 years ago because I was in pursuit of mentorship. I wanted to get around people who had the result in their life that I wanted, who had the fruit on the tree, so to speak. And it wasn't easy, but I was able to get around a guy who ultimately opened up doorways to get around extremely wealthy people. And Rick Gutman is one of them. He's a guy who has poured into me endlessly. I see he just jumped on here. Rick, I'll invite you in a second, brother. He's poured into me endlessly for the last 2 years. And to see what has happened in my life, you guys have witnessed some of it over Facebook and, you know, conversations that we've had. But it's insane what can happen, the velocity that you can experience when you get around people who can elevate you. And that's exactly what this guy has done for me. And it's just the beginning. It's an honor to know him. It's an honor to be around him. And it's an honor to have him as a close relationship in my life, you know, a corner man, so to speak, in my life. I'm so excited. For some of you guys who've never met him, never seen him, you get to hear from him tonight. So let me bring him on here in a second. Where's he at? Here we go. Tonight from a real wealth creator, a real visionary, not an internet guru, not a guy who just talks about how to make money, not a guy who is just on Instagram flexing his checks. What's up, bro?
Hey, how are you? I'm just writing a note for me.
You're good. Yeah, take your time, man. But Rick's not a guy who flexes on social media and just talks about what he wants to do and what he has done. This is a man who has built from the ground up lots of 6- and 7-figure earners, a man who's created massive levels of wealth in his life. And so it's an honor to be around him, but he's not just a wealth creator, not just a visionary. He's a kingdom builder. He's a builder of kings and queens. And that's what attracted me to him in the first place. Was I wanted the king on the inside of me to come out. And he's a guy who's been helping me to do that. So, Rick, I was just talking a little bit about you, brother. I'm so pumped to have you on here. Some of my friends have gotten a chance to see you before, meet you, talk with you, seen you on Facebook, dude. But thank you for hopping on, bro. I'm so pumped that you're here.
Yeah, me too, bro. It's been a while since we had a chance to really have a meeting of the minds, right? So I'm really looking forward to this discussion. And I always want you to know what an honor it is to have your trust and the trust of your team. And you have a great group of guys on your team and women on your team. And I'm here to make sure that you are the youngest multimillionaire in Viseo.
Come on, baby.
And your team.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Everybody popping in. Let me know where you're coming in from. I'm in San Diego. Rick is in Oregon. And if you guys are watching this live, go ahead and pop a 1 in there so I can track it. And a 2 if you guys watching on recording. So, Rick, I was telling them a little bit about you, bro. People kind of know your background. You're a bit of a celebrity on Facebook now. But let's jump right into it, man. Let's jump right into it. I said that we were going to be talking about wealth creation. We're going to be talking about trends and how to capitalize on both of them from not only a multimillionaire, but a guy who runs an extremely successful business school. And so you've been extremely successful in the past at recognizing upcoming trends, economic booms, and you know the value of taking advantage of economic booms before the masses. Something you teach in your business school, right? What is the value
of recognizing economic trends and capitalizing on them before everybody else jumps on board with it? What is the value in your mind? What kind of result have you seen in your life from doing that?
Well, I mean, like I always like saying, is that entrepreneurs see things that nobody else sees, right? They operate in a world that nobody else sees. And I know that there's some people that are very intuitive with certain things like that, but the more educated you get, financially educated you get, the easier it is for you to see a boom market or a trend market coming your way because you've put in the work, you've put in the research, right? And that's why they always say, you know, have you ever wondered why people always say, well, you know, the rich just keep getting richer? Well, they don't just keep getting richer because of chance. They get richer, they get wealthier on purpose because they make themselves a student of trends. They make themselves a student of how business works and cash flow works. They make themselves aware. Rarely do you see a real entrepreneur say, well, I already know about that stuff and discount it or explain it away. Broke people do that. Entrepreneurs don't do that because they enjoy learning. They'll be the person that says, tell me more about that. I want to hear more about that, right? They're inquisitive. They have a childlike curiosity about things that they don't know because they try to surround themselves with people that are smarter than they are. Like Sharon Lecter or Kiyosaki would say, you know, beware when you're always the smartest person in the room. You don't want to be the smartest person in the room. You want to be able to take all of the brain power around the room and put it together and find the rhythm and the harmony in it so you can see, right? And so those people are able to capitalize and execute a moment where others are still studying it. Analysis paralysis, right? This is probably a good time for me to say something that I've always said before. And that is, Jim Rohn said that for every person that's eating the fruit from the tree of success, there's 1,000 people standing around it, still studying the roots, trying to figure out how it works. Right? Why is it that success always seems to just get beyond their grasp? Because they don't spend enough time doing the research and then combine it with faith. Right? There are two things that rule you, either fear or faith. Constantly. They're constantly, one is either ruling the other. You need faith to overcome the fear that may be standing in your way. People that get stuck in analysis paralysis, they'll start researching a thing and they'll research it over and over and over again like a professor, but never have enough courage to strike when the iron is hot. So they miss so many opportunities. When I was in real estate, I would be able to capitalize on so many amazing properties that a real estate agent would show me.
That's insane.
And I couldn't understand. They'd be like, that one is being sold for 100,000 less than the rest. And the normal person would go, oh my gosh, there must be something wrong with that property, and just believe. Where a business person, an entrepreneur, would go, let's find out why. Right? And then be able to capitalize on it. But this is what always blew me away, is that the real estate agents they were so used to just making their 3% or their 6% commission that they couldn't think high enough to go, I should purchase that property myself.
Wow.
And take the whole 100 grand or get a couple of investors to do something together, collaborative, right? So they became like order takers because they were so used to just fixing their eyes on that small commission. So because they don't have the courage, they don't have enough faith, they don't have enough confidence in themselves. So not only is it worth it to do the research, but once you are aware of it, you have to have the guts to go after it. And that's what holds a lot of people back. And it's extremely important because you could go through the banisters of time and you could look at the Fortune 500 companies or Forbes list of the wealthiest people in the world, and they will take you back to a time of that story, that chapter of their life, where they could see something that nobody else saw. They shut out the noise around them, all of the naysayers and all the ones that the dream stealers, and they let vision and their ideas have its perfect way in their heart and in their mind. And they would execute at a moment, and it changed the course of their life, changed the course of their businesses. And so does it pay to be able to see what others don't see? Hell yes, it does.
Wow.
My whole young life, this is going to blow you away, and I may have shared this once or twice, but this is the truth. I remember being 18 years old and looking at, Jim, what was his name? Carlton Sheets, buy property with no money down. And I bought his infomercial stuff, and I started studying it. It was only like $149 or whatever. And I started studying it, and I met somebody who said that's not possible. I put my dreams on the shelf for 17 years. But do you know that when I stumbled upon it again after my first mentor said, absolutely, you can buy property with no money down, I picked up that Carlton Sheets stuff. And when I bought my first rental, I used his lease agreements on all my rentals. And then I signed up for the coaching. And guess what? It always worked.
Wow.
And everyone would say, oh, those infomercials, that guy's just a big scam artist, da-da-da-da. It worked. You could buy properties with no money down. You could get people into land contracts. You could negotiate deals where you only had to pay interest-only payments. All those that did business only by the book were blind. Oh, you always got to use banks, or you got to use your own money. No, you could use other people's money. See, money is just an idea. And when you figure out that I want that badly, I'm going to find a solution that will get me what I want. I want that house, or I want that car, or how I'm going to do it. I'm going to earn that income. You find a solution. You find a way to win. Over and over again. Then in the diamond industry, I did the same thing under a mentor. Made millions in that industry. My friends thought I was selling drugs because they came out to my house. My life changed so dramatically. In 10 months, I had $1 million and I had $3 million in real estate. They came out to see me. My house was like a fortress on a 1-acre property. I had walls and I had gates, medieval gates. And not only did I own this property, but I owned 3 that are on the right of me, all the way around the corner, all 1-acre parcels. All 1-acre properties with $500,000 homes on them at that time. I owned all 4 of them. I went from owning nothing to owning 4 because I had enough guts and I had a mentor to show me how to do it. And guess what? Every time we talk to people and real estate agents and brokers and all that, you can't do that. And we're like, we're doing it every week. Okay? So it goes to show you when you get the right information, you can make things happen. So when you can see what other people don't see, you can execute and become very, very wealthy. You just have to learn how to see, right? So in the land of the blind, the guy with one eye is king. And he's king because he can see just with one eye. You only need one good eye to see. You don't need both. Just one good eye. You just need to see what others don't see. Most people in this world are running around with blinders on. And it's the entrepreneurs that will put in the work, figure it out, find a way to win, find a way to make it happen, that are persistent and have a good work ethic and they have vision for their life. Those are the people that they always say, the wealthy just continue to get wealthier and wealthier and wealthier. And that's when the family members and all the friends go, everything that Rick touches turns to gold. Well, there was a time where everything I touched didn't turn to gold. It wasn't until somebody entered my life, gave me financial education, and taught me to see what others were blind for everything that they saw. They were blind at everything that they saw. So it was almost like somebody taking a candle and going, here, I'm lighting your candle right now. That's financial education. Now there's light. It's as simple as that. And I'm shocked that more people don't go to work in doing that. They would rather explain it away, why they failed, why they can't do it. Well, my dad said this, my uncle said this, my Uncle Joe said this. It didn't work for them. It's probably not going to work for me. One thing I learned is I would never, ever use somebody else's failure as a point of reference. They're not you. They don't have your determination.
Wow.
They don't have your work ethic. They don't have your ideas or your creativity or your imagination. They don't have your will. They don't have your stamina. And if you're going to constantly compare yourself to other people that continually lose in their life, then you're never going to go anywhere. You're never going to do anything. You will never walk out your destiny. So learn to see, and that's why you'll never hear. You've never ever heard me in the amount of time you've known me, and I will tell you, none of my friends have ever heard this either. I have never said this is a once in a lifetime opportunity about anything that I've ever been a part of, ever. Because when you can see, you see opportunity happen all the time because you have eyes to see. You're educated in it. When people say once in a lifetime opportunity, it's because they're blind.
Wow.
And somebody told them that it was. And they're usually wrong. So this is why when you're educated in the area of financial education, you learn how to see what others continue to explain away. You just have to have a desire to learn to see what others don't. And you have to have guts where others don't. You have to have vision where others don't. You have to believe where others don't. So those people are the ones that will continue to write books, and people will write books about their life because they feel like, hey, I did it once before, I could do it again. And once you know the way, you can continue to do it over and over and over and over again. And here's another really valuable chapter I'm going to share with you right now. It's going to be a really long monologue. No, I'm not kidding. Just kidding. But I want to say this. And I want everybody that's watching to listen to what I have to say here. We've been raised that we should find a career and stick with that career our whole life. But how many times along the way do we have seasons where we go, I think I want to do that? And then we look at that and we go, I think I want to do that. And then we go, you know what? I don't have the fulfillment that I once did with that. I think I want to do this now. You know who does that? Guys like Richard Branson that have 300 companies.
Incredible.
Guys like Warren Buffett that have almost 800 different cash flowing assets. Why? Because they don't stick with just one career. Once you have financial education, you can see, I think I want that business, and I think I want to build that business, and I think I want to build that business. Who in the world told us that we have to pick a job and stick with that job for 40 years of our life? The rich don't do that. Again, that's why they continue to get wealthier and wealthier and wealthier, because they know that, yeah, I have a personal interest in this right now. Maybe I want to get in the wine business. I'm fascinated with having a vineyard. Maybe I want to build a system around having a global business. I don't know. Maybe it's just Airbnb. Why don't we do Airbnb? That sounds like a great idea, right?
Wow.
Can you see where I'm going with this? See, when you have financial education, you know the roadmap. The principles of systems apply no matter what the widget is. The principles are the same. The system is the same. You don't build a job, you build a system. And you build what you're doing around that system. That system is always the same. So it's okay for you to go, you know what? Yeah, I spent 10 years doing that, but now, you know what? I'm thinking about figuring out how to find sunken treasure. That sounds really fun. I think I want to do that right now, right? Because they have cash flow. They have systems that produce cash flow, and you have the luxury of going, as I get older, as you get older, don't your interests begin to change? Yes.
Big time.
I don't want to do the things that I used to want to do in my 20s. I want to do things that have more meaning than back then. Before it was just, let's go out and have a great time. So you have the luxury of being able to build all types of businesses through the banisters of time until it's the end of your life, until it's time to go home. So think about the adventure, the amazing journey that you have at your fingertips when you just learn financial education. It opens up the door to all the other businesses.
Wow.
That's why they can see, that's why they can capitalize on a moment, because they know the framework is the same. It's no different. That's why you see people that get involved on a much lower scale, Let me just go. I'm going to rewind here on a much lower scale. You get a person that, knows how to do room additions or remodeling. Well, they haven't done every single type of remodeling in their first year. They just stepped into it. This one, they had a room addition. This one, they're putting in a stairwell. This one, they're putting in a bay window. This where they're adding another floor to the top. How come they can do all those different things? Because they understand the framework. It's not going to change. They can do it all, and they feel confident in doing it all because they understand the process of how to do that. Guess what? Financial education gives you, that's the framework. You can build any company you want in the world because you understand the principles of how it all works when it's rooted in a system. That's why the wealthy continue to get wealthier, and that's why when you can see trends coming and you can execute a moment before anyone else sees it, 1,000 times your money, get very, very wealthy. But you got to have the go on the inside of you and the guts on the inside of you to execute when no one else does. When we do our Overcome Nation hotel events, I'm putting my credit card down for $150,000 signing a contract with a hotel. What if only 5 people book rooms? I got to pay for all of that. Do you know how many people don't want to put their credit card down? They don't want to do that.
Almost everyone.
That's the difference between a renter and an owner in life. Right? That's the difference. You took it. Listen, I'm not talking about millionaires now, and I'm not a billionaire, but I plan on being a 4-time billionaire one day. What I found about billionaires is there are certain times in their life where they pushed all their chips into the center of the table. They had more guts. They literally put it all out. They have a common characteristic with each other. Now, I'm not there yet. I'm on a smaller scale, but I'm growing into it. Right? You have to have the ability to believe in yourself, right? Jump off that cliff and go, I don't know, but we're going to figure it out. I'll either figure it out on my own or we're going to figure this out together, but we're doing it. Okay? That's the difference between people that are finishers from people that start. That's the difference between people that capitalize on that very question you asked me about capitalizing on a boom market, being the first one in a trend, or the first one, to do something that nobody else is doing. They see, they believe in themselves, and they execute.
So good, bro. Wow. I hope you guys are taking notes. I have this on recording, and I'm going to go through it again later and take notes on some of it. But it's amazing because, dude, you give this information to us 3 days a week because we work with you, man. And it's amazing how much I've learned from you. It's something that attracted me to you so heavily is the fact that I learned there's a life cycle of entrepreneurs, that you're either expanding, you're either complacent, or you're contracting. But the complacency always goes towards contracting. So really when it comes down to, you're either expanding or contracting. There really is no in between. And something I loved about you was how much success you've had, and you feel like you're just getting started. Like you feel like you're really just like on the launching platform, which is amazing because I learned from you and from some other mentors. You encouraged me to go get other mentors as well. And from what you taught me, the business principles you taught me, I've been able to secure other 8-figure mentors, which is amazing. And so what I've learned from you is so many different things, but one of them is if you want to be successful, ride on the coattails of someone who's done it. Ride on the coattails of someone who's doing more, going bigger than you could have ever dreamed of, and it will stretch you and expand you. And that's what you've done for me and my team. So I'm excited to just be getting started with you. But I want to get back on the topic of trends, because you've carved out an amazing life for yourself so far with trends. But I want to talk about one of the big upcoming trends, which I'm sure you already knew was coming, right? One of the big upcoming trends I've actually been, educating and resourcing people that I know on the CBD market, right? Everybody who's on here has probably seen some of my stuff on this, but how in December, the Farm Bill was passed, making hemp-based CBD legal in 50 states across the country. And those of you guys who are watching this already know what it is that we've done. And so I want to ask you, Rick, I'm not going to shut up about it because I've learned the importance of executing a moment in time. And I've learned that from you. And for those who may not be aware, talk just a little bit about what the CBD market trend looks like and why you believe we have a superior business model in comparison to the traditional businesses out there trying to capitalize on the CBD marketplace.
Well, first of all, a trend or a boom market is something that's extremely significant. It's not just something that becomes popular. It's something that brings in billions and billions of dollars. What Forbes would say brings in billions of dollars, right? So you look at the technology boom, it made some of the billionaires who they are today. The real estate boom created billionaires. They don't last forever. They last a certain period of time, and then maybe something else will you'll pick up another boom along the way. The wellness boom is a $1 trillion a year industry driven by 83 million baby boomers in this country and 1 billion worldwide. And they're aging, and we know what they want. They want to look better, feel better, get off their meds. They want to live while they're alive. And so they are attracted to wellness products and anti-aging products. Well, for decades, people have wanted to legalize CBD. CBD is not a new product. It's been around for many, 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 many years, right? And now it's been legalized or dropped into the hands of the FDA, and the FDA has created what they call pathways for those that, and it's more technical than what I'm saying. There's more to this, but basically, those that know how to completely remove the THC in it, right? So it would be called broad spectrum. Okay, and so there are 119 different strands in CBD, and one of them is THC, and every one of those other strands do something else, something amazing in the body. What I'm reading is it is the most researched product in the world today. All over the world, they're studying the power of CBD and how it works on the system, the very DNA in the body, not the symptoms, but the system, right at the core. And what I found is that you have more CBD receptors in your body than any other type of receptors in your body. That's crazy. They're just looking for that CBD, right? And so this is why there is such a madness for it and such a great demand for it. And when they first release something like this and make it legalized, you get tremendous amount of demand and not enough manufacturing of it. And then the manufacturing of it is usually everybody wants a piece of it. They want to be able to put CBD on something. Yeah. But the majority of them don't have the money to do it. They'll use something that's got 3 or 4 strands, right? There's how many, I can't tell you in the last week how many times I have run into somebody who knows a friend who knows a friend who makes this out of their garage.
I'm seeing the exact same thing. It's crazy.
Okay, so there's probably 1,000 companies that will be formed because somebody's doing something in their garage or been doing it in their lab, in their warehouse in the back or what have you. I'm talking about it really being credible and professional and reliable and healthy, and so Forbes expects it to hit a $22 billion mark by the year 2022. Imagine this. It's supposed to go up to 591 million by the end of this year, and then it's going to jump to 22 billion by 2022, growing by 700%. Insane. Way bigger than cannabis, by the way. Way larger than cannabis. And we are the very first ones to come in with a CBD product that is patented with liposome technology, so it gives you the highest potency and the highest absorption, and it's also time released. It's like a bubble within a bubble. You don't see that much that out there. It's like a bubble within a bubble. And then when you look at the liposomes, that is the main part of the CBD with multiple bubbles, so it goes through the harsh area of the stomach and all of that. and it goes right into the bloodstream. And it's 8 times more potent than anything else that you could take orally.
Wow.
And we have the patent on it. There's the only product in the world that is a liposome technology patent. So we're right out front. They just made it available for us. The government did, and here we are just 3 weeks later going, here it is. This is called preparation. This is called people preparing for this moment and capitalizing on the moment as soon as they pull the trigger. And we're already out there in front with the best product out there. And guess what? Through the network marketing vehicle, I would never, ever build a traditional business. Through the network marketing vehicle, you're leveraging all of that. You're leveraging their formula, their products, their shipping, their websites, their apps on their phone, their liability, their open up the country, multiple countries, and you don't have to pay for any of that. Your only job is to systematically, I'm going to say that again, systematically take it into the marketplace and teach everybody how to build a massive business, and they can do it for about $1,500 and a couple of $100 a month. Try doing that traditionally with CBD and try to compete. It's amazing. This is I've never had a standalone product. There's people on here that have watched me for years or kind of done business with me on and off. You know, some of my friends that are here. I want all of them to understand that I've never had a standalone product in my career. You've watched my career. I've made millions in this industry for 14 straight years. I've never had a standalone product. I've been a part, and 2 of the companies I was with went to $1 billion in sales. Still never had a standalone product. This is a standalone product in a boom, and it's a boom product. This is not just another supplement, unique supplement. This is a standalone product that is a boom product. That means the demand is like a tidal wave. Right? It's crazy what's happening right now. Everybody wants to try it. Everybody wants to buy it. Everybody's trying to get their hands on it. And I love how it says patented right here. You know what that does?
Market.
You know, for us, you know, oh, your product is like yours. Okay, is it patented? No. Okay, tell us when your product is patented, because we already got it. And I love the fact that it's time released, which makes it even more unique. I like time released, yep. Right? Because that means it's going to stay in your system longer. You want that. So I hope that answers your question.
That's incredible, man. I was doing some research yesterday. I was watching the Super Bowl. Massive fan. I hate the Patriots, but I am such a fan of greatness. Such a fan of greatness, man. And seeing Tom Brady, what he did last night, it was just remarkable. But anyways, I was doing some research on the NFL afterwards, and I wanted an updated stat. The NFL did about $14 billion in revenue in 2017. That's the most up-to-date stat on the NFL. What's insane to me? What is insane to me is the NFL has been around since 1920, and it has taken them that long to get to 14 billion. What blew my mind is CBD is not new. It's been around for a while, but within 4 years of it being legalized in 50 states across the country, it's projected to nearly double the size of the NFL in 4 years. That is insane to me. Like, there will be other trends in the world. This isn't the only one. Like you said, it's not a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but I do know that I have missed other trends in my life because I didn't have the financial capacity, the financial understanding of the marketplace to see what was to come. And your business school taught me that. And it's amazing sitting here in the driver's seat with this product. It's incredible, man. And so the last question I want to ask you is, let's be real. Like, you don't have to be here. You don't have to be building with Viseo. You don't have to be capitalizing on the CBD market. You don't have to be doing this. You've done so well in your life. You were retired at one point. You came out of retirement for a reason, but you didn't even see this coming until the last few months. Why are you here and more focused than ever right now in your early 50s than ever before? Like, you don't have to be here, bro. Why? I want to know. You've never talked about it. I want to know.
Well, It really is true. I'm more focused now than I've ever been in my life. I'm laser being focused, and I'm having more fun than I ever have in my life. Um, and I do have to be here. And the reason why I have to be here is that I'm so passionate. I'm so passionate about teaching people how to have wealth and watching them and seeing what it does to them when they know how to carry it right. And we're seeing so many of those people on our team have more wealth than they ever created, right? I mean, there wasn't one person on my team that ever made $2,000 in a month, and now those people are making 8 to 12,000 a week. Do you know how exciting that is for me to know that had I not had the opportunity to sow into them and teach them what made me wealthy, to watch that happen to them and see them get excited over a check that they made in 7 days, and then it looks the same way 7 days later, and 7 days later after that, and after that, and after that, because they're experiencing what cash flow means for the very first time in their life, a cash flowing asset, and watching how they carry it and seeing that they begin to carry it very, very well instead of like going out and buying Ferraris and Lambos and showing everything and having nothing in their bank account. That makes me even more proud of them because they've learned through the business school how to carry wealth because of the way it's being fed to them, the way I'm educating them. They learn how to carry wealth instead of money carrying them, right? They understand that they're working for time, they're not working for money. They use the words like wealth rather than rich. And that is so satisfying. I'm obsessed with it. I'm so obsessed with it. The other thing I will say is that this is the first time in my career in the last 2 years where I've had more freedom in my time than I ever had in the 12 years prior.
Wow.
And that's even more satisfying for me because I used to have to live on the road 12 days out of the month, and for at least the first decade. And putting together this business school and taking my note, look at, I have volumes of notes and stuff of ideas that I've put into this school, and watching it work and shaping people and forming them in exactly how they need to carry things and ideas and all of that. And because of that, leaders are being raised up. We're producing the highest incomes in Viseo in North America. You know how big that is? And we're just getting started, by the way. Highest retention I've ever seen in the industry, and we have the largest team in North America. Do you know how satisfying that is? We've produced more diamonds than anyone else in North America, and we'll pop 3 more by June, and we'll pop 15 by the end of the year, and that'll either tie us with Asia or put us over the top, so we're even stronger than Asia, and that's my mark. Like I want the Overcome Nation to swallow up and produce way more diamonds and black diamonds than anyone else in Asia. And God, I love Asia, right? I love the Asian market, all that. But I'm competitive. I want my team to win, right? I'm here to win. I want my team to shine. I want them to do what others have never been able to do before. I don't brag about my check. Everybody's got a guy that's killing it in every network marketing company. I want to brag about the checks of my team. That's worth bragging, right? That means there's a good teacher in there somewhere. And that is what excites me more than anything, and it lights me on fire. And so, yes, I have to do this. Like my DNA has to do this. I would not be fulfilled if I didn't do this. If I couldn't teach people and educate them and watch it work, I'd rather just go to heaven. I'd rather not be here. I swear to God. If I couldn't move people with my words and teach them with my words or my writing, I would rather, if it wasn't for my daughter, I'd rather be gone. There would be no reason for me to live here.
Wow.
I mean that. And I found myself saying that over and over and over again. And I caught myself one day and I said, damn, I never ever said if I couldn't make money anymore, I'd rather not be here. It was always the furthest thing from my mind. But guess what? The time wealth and the system that's growing, that's producing cash flow is just the byproduct of being able to teach people how to make wealth and then point it at something where they have a vehicle where they can accumulate wealth along the way. In other words, so when I went to school with, learning from Kiyosaki and his book studies and Sharon Lecter and all that, they would teach you how to do it, but you had to go out and figure it out how you were going to apply that financial education, whether it was businesses or real estate or stocks and bonds or commodities, those 4 different cash flowing asset categories. You had to go figure out where you were going to find your niche.
Wow.
What makes our business school so great is I can take them, everybody in-house, knowing nothing, teach them all the financial education that they need to know. And while they're learning, we do a pivot and point it at a fulfillment center so they can watch it work each and every single week as their earning power gets higher and their value to the marketplace gets higher and their bank accounts get higher and higher and higher. So it's a all-in-one. You don't have to take the education and go figure it out. What company do I want to do? What widget do I want? Do I want to white label something? What do I want to do? No, you can take that right now and we just pivot and point it right here and watch it work for your very eyes and have more freedom in your time than you've ever had in your life. So you get to a point where you don't have to pay for your house anymore. You don't have to pay for your cars anymore, or your groceries or your travel. Your cash flowing assets that you've been growing in Viseo pay for all of that. And because your entire team is being educated in real education, real financial education, not this scholar stuff, not this professional education, not the stuff that you learn in schools and professional schools and colleges. I'm talking about real financial education. That's the type of education that's the most valuable for wealth creation. There is no other education that you should learn if you want to learn about wealth creation. It's financial education. And seeing that work all in-house and taking people that know nothing and watching them command strong incomes, do you know how powerful that is for me? Like, of course I have to be here. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to stop until I have hundreds of people pass me up in rank. Right, here's the thing. This is the secret for every one of you big earners out there that are watching me right now. I want you to understand something. If you want to know a secret, teach your team so well that they no longer need you again. That's the key to wealth. But most can't do that because they want the mic, they want the platform, they want to be the guy, they want to be the girl, they want everyone to need them. I want to teach my team so well that they never need me again, but they're loyal and we work together as a team because we're stronger together. That's when you get more freedom in your time than you can ever imagine. And that's why 140 years ago, I have to believe that the person that put network marketing together, multi-level marketing together, I have to believe with all my heart, that is what he or she saw. To have freedom in your time, to get your time back, to be the CEO of your life. I have to believe that they designed it for that very thing. It took me 14 years to figure that out. And that's why today I have my studio here in my guest house. I'm not traveling 12 days out of the month. I don't have to travel at all anymore. Imagine that. I travel when it's absolutely necessary, and it rarely is, because I can establish everything I need to do right here and in my live business school. And I want every single person on my team to be able to build wealth right from their home. I don't want them to have to spend half their life away from their kids and their husband or their wives, like the 98% are doing in this business. They're all doing it wrong. I'm gonna give you another truth here too, and I'm not proud of this in my industry, but I want everyone to be aware of it. In network marketing, if you are always being told that you got to be on the road and you got to do this and you got to do that and you got to do all these meetings, house meetings over and over and over again, that is why there's so many divorces in this industry. Because you're told to divide and conquer. You don't have to do that in today's day and age. You just have to have rich content, and you can do it right from your studio in your home. Right? I have a second house here, right? So it's cool for me to have my little studio here. But really all you have to do is put one of these banners behind you. Nobody would know that you're not in a studio. You could be in your bathroom and build a multi-million-dollar business. Why do you think at my events we have Cheryl Henderson and her husband in the back with all their books on marriages and counselors and all that? Because we're building a team. And we're building families. We're building the person, and the person builds the business. I want to protect marriage. I don't want to divide it. I don't want to teach it the way I was taught. because this is the greatest method of wealth creation on the planet. And I'm teaching everybody how to build their business right from their house. 80% of our enrollments, maybe even 90% of our enrollments come in just through doing these interviews like this.
Yeah.
But you know why they work? Because they have rich content. Every time I come to your page and we do a meeting like this, or you do it on somebody else's page, you're bringing value to their wall. If that content is rich, it'll be valuable and people will come to them. If it's like the 98% that are all just going, oh, the company, the product, the science, the compensation plan, oh my God, it's the best. Get in now. 1,000 people got in a month. Everybody says that. Don't fall to that stuff.
Come on.
Follow somebody who can mentor you and show you how to build expose the framework and the mechanics of why this business really works with real financial education. None of this fat and rah and emotional decisions. They don't stay. You hook in with somebody that's really going to show you real business principles, and you'll build a long business, a business that you can stay in the same company for year after year after year after year, and it'll continue to grow because you keep producing leader after leader after leader after leader. I wish I would have learned this lesson long before 2 years ago. And people look at the way I teach, and they're like, yeah, don't do it like that. You don't need financial education. Yes, you do. Incredible. I'm telling you, you do.
Oh my gosh.
This is why people stay on my team. 70 stay out of every 100, 30 will leave after about 90 days. You know what it's like in this industry? 98 leave in the first 90 days. 90 to 98 leave out of every 100 people in the first 90 days traditionally in this business. 70 of them stay out of every 100 on our team. That's the highest retention I've ever seen.
Yes.
In this industry. And my business is 2 years old. It's not 60 days old. It's not 90. That's not a real business if your business is 6 months old. It's not even a real business until it's about a year and a half. Then you know the true nature of your business. Because everybody gets in, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. Everybody wants to jump into a sale. Everyone wants to jump in for CBD. Many of them are making emotional decisions. They're not ready to build a business. You look at a business after 2 years, and if it continues to grow 20% or 30%, 20%, 30%, month over month over month over month for 24 straight months, that's a real business. That's when you know you're doing something right, and that's what we are doing. This is why I say, I'm just going to say this. Anyone who leaves this teaching is a fool. You're a fool if you leave this kind of teaching, and you're a fool if you think you can figure it all out in 1 year. You made a bad decision if you left Overcome Nation because you thought that, well, it's probably better over here because they have a better product or this or that. Yeah, try communicating your new business with no financial education and no stamina. Getting fired up right now.
Dude, I love it, man.
But it's the truth, right? I wish somebody would have told me the truth when I stepped into this industry. Nobody told me that. I had one guy, Daryl Utterbach, told me. God bless his soul. He passed away many years ago. But he was truthful with me when I was coming up through the ranks. He told me stuff that nobody would tell me. I was like, my God, this guy is so transparent. He's like, unbelievable. He was loyal. He was truthful. He was honest. He told me things that nobody would dare tell me. People that don't even talk about it today, things that he told me. I was only about 6 months into the business, probably exactly 6 months into the business. He told me truths about this business that no one would ever say. You know what I practice? I tell the truth of the good, the bad, and the ugly about this industry because I want every single person on my team to know everything that's involved. I don't want anything to blindside them. I want them to understand what they're getting involved in, that it's a complex business. Yes, you can become very, very wealthy, but you got to go through the gauntlet of learning a skill set. Anything worth making $1 million a year or $1 million a month or $1 million a week takes a skill set. Anyone who tells you anything different is full of it. Some of these self-made gurus that I'm seeing out here, believe me how bad I want to mention their names. They get paid $75,000 to coach one person. Right? You know what those are called? Those are called charlatans, right? They're called charlatans. They teach success and they cannot do it for themselves. So they teach others to do it. When you can't build a business anymore, you teach. I don't like that. And they're contributing to the 98% that are all doing it wrong because they won't give them the real nuts and bolts about how to build this business. And you cannot build it anymore long lasting without the real framework of this business. Oh, call 60 people a day. Who can do that?
Come on.
Who does do that for long periods of time? You get somebody who's never been in this industry before, they make 4 calls that say no. They're not making a fit.
Yeah.
They need education. They need to communicate the industry. They need to communicate the brand. They got to bring people to them. That's why their retention is 2 to 10%. That's why so many quit. They're trying to close them at the door, thinking, okay, this is great. I just closed another one and another one and another one. And 90 days later, they're all running out the back door. They didn't want to be involved in it because you closed them. You sold them. You didn't educate them in the business. You didn't tell them really how to build a professional business so they can go, am I ready for this? Like, am I ready to build a big business? You told them that it was going to be easy. You told them that there was a bunch of people that are coming in your business and that all they need to do is get a spot and you're going to build half of it for them. You didn't give them the framework, give them the education so they can go, I really need to think about this. They're approaching network marketing like they're selling a car, a one-time sale. The easiest thing in the world is to get somebody to step into network marketing. The most difficult thing in the world to do is to get them to stay and build. If you can't educate them, they are not going to stay. And if you can't teach them how to have wealth creation, again, they're not going to stay. Somebody needs to ring a bell in this industry. That's why it gets such a bad rap. Because there's so many people out saying, oh, it's so easy. Just get in now. We got the best product. Nobody does this. I had some fool get on my page and say, we have the strongest financial backing than any other company in the last 140 years, and that's a fact. And I looked at and I wrote on my wall, if I had a penny for every time I heard that is the biggest rookie explanation I have ever heard in my life. It's like somebody saying we have the very best product. They'll never be able to create a better product, right? Listen, products are amazing. Sooner or later, somebody will have another amazing product, even if it's a better product. Listen, products need to be arguably number one, but if it's not system driven, you will not have long-term financial freedom in this industry. Systems are more important than products. And most people don't like me saying that, but that's the truth. Have the best product in the world, but if you don't have the system to take it into the marketplace, you will never be able to keep your wealth in network marketing. It has to be system driven. Every network marketing company says, oh, we got a system. Here's the railroad track. Just flip a chart and do this, right? There's no real education.
Bullshit, dude.
You talk to some people and go, okay, you just talk to some more. And they're like, I've talked to everybody in my warm market. What do I do now? They're like, well, go hang out at Starbucks. Go hang out at this place. Be involved in this club. No. Get educated, communicate the brand, selectively enroll people that have large networks. The love language of the rich is business. The love language of a business owner is business. They come in with their work ethic. They come in with their influence. They come in with their network. Their network is their net worth. They come in with their business acumen and they rip the cover off the ball, and you only need a few of them to do business with to build a $20 million a year distribution business. It doesn't matter if you enroll 1,000 people on hype. They're all going to quit. You need somebody to come in and go, I'm going to treat this like a business and I'm going to stay. How are you going to do that if you don't know how to communicate the industry and the brand? 98% of the people in this industry are building on chance. They're building on numbers. Well, talk to 10, you get one. Well, that's great, but they don't stay. Then you got to find a needle in a haystack for somebody to really see it from a business perspective, and basically you just got lucky. I don't build on luck. We build on real education, real communication, real business skill sets. That's your guarantee. Everybody wants a guarantee in business. That's your guarantee. I'm going to be better next month than I am this month. I'm going to be better next year than I am this year. I'm more excited about 2020 than I am about 2019. And I can't even hardly stand myself about 2019. Like, I can't even sleep. I'm jumping out of my skin. And I can tell you 2020 will be even better than 2019, because you're going to see a whole lot of 7-figure earners that are sick of themselves and their companies, and they're going to look for a safe place, and they're going to look for Overcome Nation, because we're going to be able to take their sick business, Their dilapidated business, their business has no
Make it well.
retention. Bring it here, educate them, and get them cash flow. All right, I probably went a little bit too far and all that stuff, but hey, that's the way we teach in Overcome Nation with no BS.
Come on, dude. Do you remember the first conversation you and me had? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Actually, when you had those 6 guys or 7 people on that conference call, absolutely.
We had one conversation before then, and it was before that call. It was in setup to that call, and I said to you, Rick, I'm looking for a mentor who I can point back to in 20 years from now and say, because of that man, I have everything I have right now. I want a place where I can bring a team where we can build an asset that will pay us for the rest of our life, where we can win financially, somewhere that people will stay, and somewhere that we can win. Can you provide that for me? And one other thing I said to you was, I'm not looking for a mentor that provides lip service. And, you see it all the time in this industry of, the top earner, he's my mentor. And like, you have their phone number, but they don't take your call, right? It's not a real friend or a real mentor if they don't take your call when you reach out, right? And I said, I want a mentor who I can point back to in 20 years, who I can say, because of what he taught me, I have everything I have right now. Can you be that guy for me? And you said yes. And I can tell you 100%, bro, you've been that guy for me. And I came here, and I'm not the fastest builder. You know that. We've talked about this. I'm not the fastest builder, not for a lack of work ethic, but because, I'm a young dude, and I had a lot to learn, right? I had a lot of skills to learn. I had to shift my mentality. There was a poverty mentality I carried on me, but you taught me how to carry a kingdom mentality. And the shifts and transformations I've seen in myself in the last 2 years, it's been even more of an honor seeing it begin to happen to people on my team. To see my guys, my friends, my family, right? Seeing these transitions in their mind, because you get rich here before you get rich here, right? And it's been an amazing journey, bro. It's an honor to be with you here. We're just starting our 3rd year together, man. And I'm excited more about this year than I've ever been in my life. I'm sleeping less. I'm freaking waking up just jacked out of my mind, dude. So I'm pumped. Man. I appreciate you. I just want to honor you, man, because I'm able to stand on your shoulders of what you've done in the past. And the goal is to far exceed anything you've ever done. That's the goal. And I know that's your goal for me, man. So I appreciate you and I honor you, brother.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I told you in the very beginning that you're a would-be king, and that's who you are. And you'll do greater things than I have done, because you're going to get all the education that I have much earlier than I ever did, right? You're going to have all the tools that you need to go further than I ever did. That's what mentorship should be doing, right? I want everyone on my team to go further than I ever could. That's a good trade. That's a good profit, right? And it's been an honor to be working with you and your brother, by the way, right? Your brother's been here every step of the way as well. I'm learning a lot about Eric, and he's another badass. And you guys are attracting more and more people that have the same heart as you, the same thirst, young individuals that have vision. You're fitting right in amongst those that are building massive businesses, right? Never before in history have we produced more billionaires under the age of 26. Never before in history. And you guys are following those footsteps. You're involved in that. Your mindset is that. Your desire is that. Your vision is that. Most guys your age want to just go out and, drink and party and have a good time and watch sports and do all that until all of a sudden life becomes very serious. You guys are already doing this long before the seriousness really hits you. You are so far ahead of the others in your life. And that is going to pay massive dividends for the rest of your life. I wish that somehow, some way, I would have had a mentor when I was your age. I didn't meet my first one until I was 33. And he had a tremendous impact on my life. And so it's an honor to be working with you. I watch you and your team, and I watch how they surround you and they look up to you. You're a deep well. There's not a lot, and so are the people, the members of your team are deep wells. These are good men. These are good women, and you're attracting more and more of them. You're building a network. And that network, if you continue to nurture it and sow into their life, will continue to get larger and larger and larger. You do this right, you'll keep the same group of people, the same network for the rest of your life. And that's what the wealthiest people in the world have. They build networks. And the ones that do it the best are the ones that mean it. Not the ones that are just kind of, we're working together on this one. No, the ones that really are wealthy, the real wealthy men, 80-year-old, 85-year-old men that I've met that have real wealth, man, they can't even spend their money. And you know what they do? They still get together and they go to lunch together. They'll like every day or every other day, he'll go and have lunch with all the people in his network, not even discussing business. So in other words, it's not like, hey, I need to get together because we're going to put this thing together, or we got to put our money together. It doesn't always happen that way. They're cultivating relationships outside of business. And then when it is time to go do business, they know that their friend isn't using it. They're like, okay, what are we doing? Let's go make it happen. Right? When you're unified with your network, you are unstoppable. The easiest thing in the world when you're building a network and building a team, when they're unified, the easiest thing in the world to do is to go out and create a tremendous amount of wealth. And you're doing that. Your team is doing that. You guys show up for everything. You're involved. Right? I can't tell you, and I just know some of them are watching, right? I can't tell you what it meant to me for you guys to get in front of that video and give your testimony of what Overcome Nation Business School has done for you. Each one of your people got in there for 20 minutes, right? That's valuable to me because that's the only thing that I can brag about is look at what has happened in the life of these young individuals over the course of the last 2 years because I decided that I was going to listen to the voice on the inside of me. I was going to listen to God and walk out my call. Yeah, right? And you guys did that. And that's a big, big deal. And it means a lot to me. I love that my team has done that because I love to hear the stories that I don't always get a chance to hear. So it's an honor to be working with you and every one of the members of your team. And I will say, this hasn't been an easy road for them, but they have time strength. Okay? Here, let me tell you, let me expose something in our industry that I've learned. Some of the people that you spend the most attention to are not here for your loyalty. They're not here for your relationship. Not everybody who gets past your gate seeks your friendship or your heart. And some of the people in our industry or people in our organization, not in my organization, but in this industry, they pay attention to the one that's making them the most money. And those are the first people that leave. I will tell you this, there's been 2 people in Overcome Nation, 2 people that I did more for them than I did for anyone else in my entire team. And guess what? Those 2 people were the first ones to leave because I did too much for them. Right? But it always tends to be the ones that you ignore that rarely get your attention. They're the ones that continue to stay. Those are the ones that stay. They don't get any of your attention practically. I have people on my team that I don't talk to that much. And they're still here. And they don't have great success. Those are the ones that have time strength. The only thing they need now is skill set. They got to figure out a way to win. They have time strength. One of the most difficult things in this industry to learn is time strength. It's always the ones that want to turn and burn really fast. Those are the ones that are the most frustrated when they're not duplicating and people aren't duplicating and then they're out. Right? So keep your eyes open as a leader. All of you guys that are watching me, as a leader, keep your eyes open. Learn who deserves your time. Learn who is there. They want to learn. They're pulling on your coattails, right? They're not the ones that step all over everyone to get in front. They'll wait patiently at the line for your time, but they're the ones that are always there. They're the ones that are always reliable. They're the ones that will do anything for you in a time of need. Learn to see those, not just the biggest earners, that you pay so much attention. You're cutting corners for them. You're making things easy for them and doing all of that, paying their way in certain things, right? Those you need to reevaluate that, because it always seems like those are the first ones that bail because they don't have time strength. They're not here for relationships. They're here for the money, right? Learn to find those that are not here for the money. They're here because they want to learn. They're here because they have a good heart. They're here because they're loyal, right? They're not the ones that are so easily offended. You could say something to them that would offend them, and they don't turn away and run. Anyone who leaves you because of you coaching them and you're hard on them and they leave, they were never here in the first place. Learn to see who those are and the others that are not. Because a good mentor should be able to offend you. He should be able, or she should be able to speak into your life, bring change, cut to the chase, not, can I say it like this, not pussyfoot around, just tell you like it is. And if you're here for the right reasons, you'll take it because you're at that point where you're like, I want what you have. I know you have something that I don't have. I'm here because I want you to sow into my life. I want what you have. Tell me what to do. I'm here for the relationship. I'm here for what you have. You cannot offend me. Those are the best people and the best mentorship relationships in the world. Learn to have those types of relationship. I have people that, man, I'll get on the phone and I'll go, look, you're doing it wrong. Don't do that again. Right? And they know that I love them. They know that I'm down for them because I've been there during the hard times in their life. There's a balance there. I'm not here just to shout and scream and tell people that they're losers. I don't do that. There's a balance, right? If you keep beating your dog and then you're nice to him or her, they're so confused. They don't know whether you like them or not. But if there's a good balance of knowing how to have a relationship with a dog and bring out the best of them and, you know, give them what they need and show them what they're doing wrong, then they're always your absolute best friend. They're never questioning when you're calling them, right? You know what it is when you're calling your dog and you're got the tail between their legs. They don't know whether you're being nice this time or you're being mean, right? When you're mentoring people, you need to make sure that you sow into their life and they know that even when you're rough on them, it's because you care and you want them to win. The best coaches and mentors I have ever had were those that were very difficult on me, but I knew that they were down for me. I knew they wanted the best for me, and that's why they needed to say things in a certain way because that was the only way I was going to receive it. Rick, you didn't listen to me, so I'm going to say it again. I'm like, I heard you 3 times. No, you didn't hear me, so I'm going to say it again, except with a whole lot of cuss words. Because he could tell that I wasn't getting it. He could see that I wasn't getting it. And so he had to drive that point home. He had to risk offending me. He had to risk hurting my feelings so he could get the point to penetrate my mind and penetrate my heart so I would receive it and bring change and go after it. Some of those things that were very difficult for me to ever understand were the most difficult things for him to teach. And he had to say it in a way to where I was like, does he hate me? Right? He hates me right now, but I think he loves me overall, right? He hates me right now, but I think he loves me overall. And I got it. And good mentors and good mentor relationships are like that. You give your mentor the freedom to express what you're lacking and leave that other stuff out, because everyone will always let you down. Somebody will always say something that will offend you. But when you know that that person is teaching you and they're trying to guide you, so you'll not just have position, but you'll have presence in your life. What you need is presence in your life. When you get on, everyone that gets on that stage, on that platform, in Overcome Nation at our convention, you can hear a pin drop. Yeah. Every single one of our Overcome Nation, as soon as they get the mic, everyone's like this.
Yep.
You know why? Because you guys have presence, not position. Too many people are going after position and they don't have presence. They don't know what to say once they get the mic, so they default to something else, anything that comes to their mind. Those are the people that are taking the shortcuts, and shortcuts always cut you short. Forget position. Go after presence. Once you get the presence, you'll have the position.
That's good stuff, bro. You and me, I think, could sit here and jam for another 2 hours, man. I have no doubt. Our conversations are always good, man. And I gave you permission day one to chew into me and tell me what I need to hear, because I came for the right reasons. I was here to win. And so that you always have that permission with me, bro. But I do appreciate you hopping on here. I know we could go for another 60 minutes at least, but I got a team call to do here with my whole group in a couple minutes. So I'm gonna rock and roll, brother. But hey, thank you so much for hopping on, dude. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in Chicago. We'll have the whole squad out there. So
yeah, me too.
love
you,
you,
bro.
See you, dude.
Talk to you later.